Do you feel stuck? Maybe it's feeling stuck in an intimate relationship, or maybe it's in a job. Maybe it's even an extended family dynamic. Whatever it is, it's the kind of stuck that feels like you are completely committed to staying connected in this relationship, but you also feel incredibly tempted to leave, where you feel completely unable to move in either direction and you just so badly want clarity. Today I'll be talking about why you might be feeling so stuck, what's behind it, and what to do about it. Now, before we dive in, I want to remind you to hit like and subscribe so you can be notified every time I post a new video. If you feel stuck, you probably vacillate between all the potential that this relationship, connection, or job might have in it and the reality that you only have one life to live. And that you have a sneaking suspicion that staying in this place might cause you to ruin the best parts of your life. This can really cause you to have magical thinking, where you just wish by some magical outside force that something is going to fix the issue for you from the outside, or the issue is just going to magically fix itself. Oftentimes, that's why we can put so much focus on the other person fixing the issue. Whatever issue they're causing, or their bad behavior, their damaging behavior, the toxic work dynamic. Because after all, if they would just fix it, everything would be fine and we wouldn't have to make this really gut-wrenching decision. Maybe you're even secretly just waiting for some spectacular sign from God or the universe to tell you exactly what to do. The truth is that living as a fully functioning adult that is in charge of your own life and looking out for your own best well-being requires you to take a different approach. Something different than waiting for someone else to fix the issue. It requires you to make decisions that take full responsibility for your own life and for choosing what is absolutely best for you. So what can you do to regain your courage and really that deep resolve to make choices that are best for you? Well, first of all, you want to remind yourself that the point of a relationship isn't to suffer. The point of a job isn't to suffer. There's all kinds of dynamics in this world where we are connected to other people, and there should be a give and take. So the point isn't to just stay stuck and suffer like some kind of martyr. Part of this process is coming to the realization that you are not all good or all bad. Humanity is not all good or all bad. We live in the messy middle, in the gray area that allows for us to see that we do have things we need to work on, and we have other parts of us that are worthy. And so incorporating that into a belief system that doesn't make you all bad for choosing a decision that's in your best interest. As adults, making decisions that are truly just in the interest of our overall well-being is what it means to be a responsible adult. We are in charge of ourselves now, and it's our responsibility to make decisions that are the very best for our overall well-being. The source of some of this inner struggle comes from our childhood. We all have childhood issues that can make it difficult for us to function in some aspects in our adult life because there's a core belief that got set into our belief system when we were very, very young. And then you couple that with the need for attachment. We're born with a very deep need for attachment, and we want attachment bonds with our caregivers. And so anytime in life when there's a potential to break some kind of attachment, it triggers that deep inner fear that we don't want to break attachment bonds with our caregivers when we're children because we need them desperately. It's also helpful to remind yourself that anyone can end up in a bad relationship or an unhealthy situation. It could happen to anyone, and it doesn't mean that you're bad in some way. But when you are stuck in a toxic dynamic, some kind of relationship that isn't healthy for you, it could mean that you have unprocessed shame, and there's something that's making you feel frozen in that moment because of this shame. That inner child part of yourself could be desperately trying to rewrite the story from their childhood so that now you can have the happy ending. And if it means being miserable in the process, it's willing to do whatever it takes because it's just so desperate to change the narrative. You might have a part of you that doesn't believe that you deserve more because maybe there's a core belief inside of you, even though those words aren't audibly heard, there's a belief system in the back of your mind telling you that you don't deserve better than this. This is just as good as it gets. Maybe in childhood you never learned how to assertively share your thoughts and feelings with other people. Or maybe when you tried, you weren't responded to well. Maybe you grew up in a belief system where you were told children were meant to be seen and not heard. And so even though you did try to share your thoughts, your feelings, and your desires, they weren't validated. You might have been ignored or shut down or even chastised for having shared your thoughts and feelings. You might have ended up feeling like you didn't have the right to stick up for the things that you believed in and share those thoughts and feelings that were unique to you. Instead, you might have actually become the good child. You know, the one that follows all the rules, the one that just tries so hard to gain acceptance, and following those rules became the path to gaining acceptance. You might have even been scared of an angry parent, or maybe overly concerned about a sensitive, fragile parent. Maybe you came to believe that it was your job to manage other people's reactions and emotions, so you became the calm person who never wanted to rock the boat because you were unconsciously even managing how someone else would or wouldn't respond. Maybe you became that kid who began worrying about everyone else, worrying about your family members, your parents, your friends, all in kind of an underlying effort to fit in and be accepted by them. And now as an adult, you are still worried about everyone else. And you're still shrinking your own voice, your own feelings, all in an attempt to manage other people's feelings and reactions. But there's still this deep down part of you that demands to be treated better, that knows you're deserving of more. It's really that inner self-worth part of you that is in there deep down, and it's sending you messages that this situation just isn't right. That deep down part of you knows that you deserve to be happy. You deserve to live a fulfilling, happy life. It's kind of like if you've ever seen those trees that get chopped down, but the stump doesn't get taken out, and there's these shoots that come up from that stump that are determined to continue to grow, even though the big, massive, mightiest part of it is now missing. They are determined to continue to grow, and so they shoot up and sometimes create an entirely new tree that's giant and big. That's the inner worth part of you that won't let you settle. And that's why you struggle with the fact that you want to just accept this as is so you don't rock the boat, but you know that you can't just accept it as it is. So what can you do about it? Well, first of all, you need to remember that you're already very alone and unhappy, even while you're in the relationship or in that job situation that isn't satisfying. Staying in that situation won't change that because you already don't feel satisfied. You need to know that no amount of telling that inner self-worth part of you to shut up is going to work. It knows the truth. It knows that you deserve better, and you can't shut it up permanently because it's always going to send these messages to you. So you really need to take the time to listen to this part of you. Listen to that inner voice or that younger self. Hear what it's telling you, because there's some old core beliefs in there that probably need to be reframed. And this is why hypnosis is so amazing, because hypnosis allows you to have access to your subconscious mind so that you can actually go in there and reframe these old belief systems that are driving your behavior. It allows you to get to the root cause of the issue, the place that's actually the roadblock that's keeping you stuck, so you can discover where that came from, you can reframe your core belief about it, and then you can free yourself to move in a direction that's more authentically you. You can really regain that sense of self-worth that's always been there, but you do it by a process of peeling back all of the false belief systems that have been layered on top of you throughout the years so that you can actually live in your truest self. In the end, remind yourself you're allowed to choose something different for yourself. You don't have to continue to condemn yourself to a lifetime of regrets and what ifs. It's really important to remember to tell yourself the truth. And the truth is that being single or changing a job isn't the end of the world. It's more like a minor inconvenience when all of the turmoil calms down and settles in. Reminding yourself that the sun will come up tomorrow, and that while it is an inconvenience to make a change, that it can be very necessary and so worth it in the end. It's always best to make a choice that's the most fulfilling for your self-worth and really your emotional happiness in the end. So when you're finally ready to really break free from those old beliefs, regain your self-worth, regain your confidence, and have a new vision for your life, schedule a consultation. I offer free consultations, and the link is in the description below, because when you're ready to take your life back, you don't want to waste years trying a million different methods that just inch you along. What you really want is traction that gets you closer to your goal quickly, where you can feel and experience results rapidly. And that's exactly what hypnosis does. I customize my hypnotherapy plans for each client so that they get the traction that they need in a rapid way, so they don't waste more of their life stuck in a situation that they don't want to be in. So be sure to check out my website for more info, which is also in the description, and set up that consultation call so you can find out just what is possible for you in your life. And until next time, curate a life by your own design.